Vegas Summer League action, number 1 versus number 2. AJ DeBonsa for the Wizards taking on Darren Peterson and the Jazz. First night of Summer League action, and it certainly did not disappoint. Early first quarter, DeBonsa taking it inside, finishes with a reverse layup off the glass. And again, with the ball, this time driving, hits the tough fall away. Wizards taking an early 18-14 lead. Let's go a little bit later in the first. Driving in with the insane poster dunk, throwing that one down, showing off the athleticism. 11 points in the first frame for the number 1 overall pick. Jazz down by 14 here. Darren Peterson hits the sidestep 3. Shot clock winding down. Jazz trail 27-18 after the first, moving on to the third quarter. Somehow, some way, once again, this reverse layup, Vince, he showed off that move in the first quarter. AJ DeBonsa does it again. All he can do is shake his head after that one. I felt the same watching that game on Thursday night. And here, intentional foul. AJ DeBonsa fouling Darren Peterson on the arm. He had to come out, had a little bit of leg soreness. He should be okay, but that might be the only action we see from him in Summer League. A few moments later, Jazz were trailing by 3, and Darren Peterson getting to his spot. A little floater. Final seconds of the fourth quarter. Heaving it in at the buzzer. The deep triple. Darren Peterson, talk your talk, son. 24 points in his Summer League debut. AJ DeBonsa, 27-7. Wizards get the win, 92-88. So AJ DeBonsa finishing with 27 points last night, tying Blake Griffin, who also had 27 points back in 2009, for the most points ever by a number 1 overall pick in their Vegas Summer League debut. Keep in mind, the Las Vegas Summer League was launched back in 2004.
Why he look so mad?
I mean, competitive spirit. He's looking to get 30 next time, but who knows, next time we'll see him out there at Summer League. So you watched this game. What was your takeaway specifically seeing the number 1 overall pick in action?
The athleticism. It jumps off the page when you see him just on the highlight plays. The fact that he was able to absorb contact, play to it, play through it. Those are things that you want to see, especially from an 18, 19-year-old who's only going to get bigger and stronger. But the ability to finish at the rim, finish over contact and through it, not just the poster dunk, but the reverse layup to show you that he can play around the rim. He can use the rim as a shield like he did right here, shielding himself from the shot blocker. In the NBA, they call that a foul. At Summer League, this is prison ball. They ain't calling jack here. So the fact that he's able to play like that is a welcome sort of development, considering the fact that these guys haven't played organized basketball in like 3 or 4 or 5 months, basically.
Yeah, it's a great warm-up, obviously, to what we will see, Wendy, this season from these rookies. But AJ DeBonsa and that leg injury, feels like teams are going to be cautious. Certainly the Washington Wizards want to protect that investment. Do you think that we see him again in the Summer League, or is he going to have an early exit?
Maybe not. I mean, he said it was leg soreness. It could have been a cramp, but I've seen first-round draft picks get shut down of cramps before. But forget about all that. What he showed was incredible power going to the basket. That is what he is known for, his strong mid-range game. He didn't shoot the ball great from the outside. He was 0 of 5 on 3. That is what is in the scouting report. But he drew 8 shooting fouls, looked for contact. Excellent debut for him. And I think actually pretty importantly, he was out there for 26 minutes. He was handling the ball a lot. He had 1 turnover. And that's one of the things that you see from young players. They turn the ball over a lot. That certainly was Peterson was dealing with last night.
All right, so Darren Peterson, we know in those first 2 games that he played with the Jazz was terrific, and those were done away from Summer League. What was your takeaway from watching the number 2 pick, Wendy, last night?
Yeah, he's just got an elite package of offensive skills. He's got the entire NBA maneuvers down, the step backs, the playing off the pick and roll, scoring at all 3 levels. He also did not have a great shooting game in this one, but he was able, again, to get to the foul line because he knows how to score. Now, what I will say is this. I couldn't be more impressed with him in these first 3 games, and it wouldn't surprise me if he is maybe done as well for Summer League because he's now played 3 games. But he is turning the ball over a ton. He has 18 of them in the first 3 games here. He had 8 last night. I don't know if he's ready to play a lot of point guard at the NBA level here. He's definitely can handle the ball, and the ball's going to be funneled to him. But, if anything that the Jazz take away from this summer, definitely this gentleman is going to score and be an impact player immediately on the scoreboard. I don't know if they're ready to have him be a primary point guard, which is why Keontae George is going to play a huge role. And Keontae George was with Peterson and the Jazz throughout this whole training camp and process.
Yeah, good time to test out where they're going to play him and exactly what role, but we'll see how much longer these two end up playing out in Vegas at Summer League. And our Summer League action continues today with a full slate. Catch the Cavs and the Pacers, Rockets Nuggets on ESPN2, then ESPN, followed by the Trailblazers and Suns to close out the night at 11 o'clock on ESPNU. You can also stream every game on the ESPN app. So from Vegas to Boston to a segment we like to call Sound Off. Interesting people saying interesting things. Jaylen Brown linked up with streamer IShowSpeed and sounded off on the way that he was shipped out of Boston.
It's a crazy business, bro. Don't become a basketball player. There's no loyalty.
What happened? You just got traded?
It's a good question. It's a real good question. I think a lot of people want to hear that. They asking that question right now. I don't know.
All right.
Packed up.
You just got packed up. What does that even mean?
They packed me up. Sayonara, I'm out of here.
I think that IShowSpeed felt like all of us because Jaylen Brown saying, don't become a basketball player. Well, your $300 million contract probably says different. I mean, I would make the decision to become a basketball player if I was getting paid like that, Vince. Your reaction to what he said in that clip?
New dudes. That's all. This is when you look at the NBA as a whole, and I know LeBron isn't a new dude, but when LeBron is having his free agency done on a podcast with Max Kellerman and Rich Paul, and you see IShowSpeed and Jaylen Brown, like these are today's athletes and the way that they communicate directly to people. Jaylen Brown already knew that there was no loyalty in sports. He didn't have to be traded for that. He was on the Boston Celtics team where 5'9" Isaiah Thomas, put his injured hip on the line and everything else for the team and did not get rewarded with a contract extension after the year. He got rewarded with a trade to Cleveland, and a couple years later, he was out of the league. It's all performative. It's almost say fun, but everybody knows what they're doing. This is an attention economy, and now you're a topic on Get Up on a Friday morning. It's all content.
Yeah, Wendy, the comments and the associated context here associated with them, would you say that that's illustrative of the modern day athlete?
I don't know. Do you think Brad Stevens said that to Jaylen when he called him sayonara chat?
I'm packing you up, Wendy. That's what he said, packing you up.
Yeah, I think that's probably what he said. Yeah. I opt out of this conversation. Thank you for showing me the video.
You're welcome for that. All right, so how should Philly fans now feel about like Jaylen Brown, just knowing so there was some uncertainness here and like the unwillingness to move on, Vince?
Philly fans notoriously have very tough skin, as evidenced by my Twitter mentions whenever I say anything about Philly. I think, look, it's still very raw. Like, you can make jokes about it, and Jaylen Brown can make jokes about it, but this is still a very raw experience for him to perhaps spend all of his NBA career to have made a home in Boston and now getting traded to a rival. That says a bunch of different things. I suspect by the time training camp comes around, he'll be ready to move on, or at least move forward. Maybe not move on, but move forward and be a Philadelphia 76er. They'll be fine.
Yeah, he'll probably get tired of doing the podcast, right?
No,
And going on anybody else's stream? No?
No.
Okay, we'll expect more of that then. All right, we're expecting a whole lot of fireworks coming out from golf this weekend because